If money wasn't a factor, what would you like to study? That was a question that my dad asked me in 2021. This was 2 months into a business that I had started. Did I have an answer? No. I genuinely did not have an answer for that because I did not know what I wanted to study. I was changing what I wanted to be almost every single day. At some point, I wanted to be a fashion designer because I love drawing and I love designing dresses. At some point, I wanted to be a poet because I wrote poetry when I was much younger. And then another point, I wanted to be a chemical engineer because, well, engineers get paid a lot, okay? And then I switched from engineering to wanting to be a lawyer because I loved debating with all my heart. I literally lived and breathed debating and public speaking all through my high school career. So I thought, if I love debating this much, there's no way I wouldn't love being a lawyer, until reality struck me in the face. So I realized that the odds were stacked against me, okay? There was no way I was going to make this whole law thing work. And now I was back to square one, having absolutely no idea what I wanted to study or what I wanted to become.
Ask me anything that requires deciding.
I can see that you are very indecisive, actually. Shaz, drink a banana, drink no peng.
Seriously.
I guess that didn't really sit well with my parents because, well, I don't actually blame them, to be very fair. If my child told me that she did not know what she wanted to do with her life, I would definitely freak out, because then what? So according to my parents, if you don't know what you want to do in life, you are going to be a failure. So I clung to that with all of my life. When my dad suggested that I study engineering, I was like, well, sure, anyway, I don't have any other plan. So we went with it. And after the experience that I'd had during my gap year, I knew damn well that it wasn't looking very good. You see, when I finished high school, I thought, you know what, the next best thing to do is to get a job. And did I not apply to so many different places? But how do you get a job when, one, you just have your matric, two, you are not South African? It doesn't go very well for you. So when I got my job and got laid off after 2 weeks of working because I didn't have a work permit, which I can only get if I have a job that I'm working at. So it's kind of that thing where you need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience. So it was a dead end. And from then on, I just never found anything. I think halfway through my gap year, I was like, okay, this is not working. I need something else. I need to start something of my own. But I had no idea what I would actually start. So I went to God and we had 100 days of praying and fasting in church. I think that was the best opportunity that I ever got. For me, it was honestly just a challenge to see how far I'd actually be able to make it. I made it to 60 days. Okay, that's a lot. But I was praying and fasting for the world. Honestly, it was just still during the COVID time and so on. But an idea came, a business idea, to start selling something of my own and make money on my own. Did I not research for hours on end? I was stuck watching thousands of YouTube videos on how to start a business, grow a business ideas and everything. I knew I wanted to start a jewelry business at some point. So the next thing that I did was teach people how they could start their own business. Different, right? But that was how I started off. I was sharing whatever it is that I was learning, and as time went on, I was growing my audience on social media, sharing whatever it is that I was learning. I remember someone saying that, hey, I would love if you were my coach. I didn't even know what a coach was. I didn't even know what coaching was at the time. And soon enough, I realized jewelry wasn't for me. I had no passion whatsoever for jewelry. I barely even wore any jewelry. Lord knows why. I thought starting a jewelry business would be a good idea. So I ditched that business. I was like, this is not working. I don't want to be stuck with the jewelry business that I do not have any care for. So then at some point, I thought of starting a gift box business. Bought some things and just shut that down as well because I didn't care about it. And then I was like, you know what? I love talking to people. I love teaching people. is there no way for me to make money from teaching people? And that's when I discovered coaching and consulting. So the first thing I found out about was consulting, and now I was trying to figure out which type of consulting I'm supposed to do. I have no experience. I have nothing to my name. I don't even have a degree or certificate, anything that will make me credible. So what am I supposed to do? So I started trying to figure out what to actually put into this package that I would be selling to people. So I went and put my email address on all those sites for management consultancy, so I could see what they actually offer and maybe speak to someone that already does this, and maybe that would help. Weirdly enough, it did. I spoke to a salesperson there, and from that conversation I was able to realize that I genuinely love marketing. And from then on, that's when the whole marketing coach thing started. So I had a rebrand. I told people that I was not starting a jewelry business anymore. I was starting a consultancy business, teaching people how to market their businesses. And it was something so scary for me during that time, but I was hoping that no one would think that I'm a scammer because I'm suddenly changing the business I'm supposed to start. But people were so supportive of that. I think that's the one thing I've come to realize, is that people that don't know you are always your biggest supporters. No offense to all the people that know me and are supporting me silently. Okay, I see you, but yeah, that's a whole other thing. Once I realized that I wanted to coach people, I then had to come up with a program now as to how exactly I would go about the whole coaching thing. So I started talking to my audience. I started asking them to get on calls with me so I could help them with whatever issues they had. And that's how all of this was built. And guess what? I'm switching again. I have realized that the business model that I was building was kind of boxing me into one thing, and I don't want that. If there's anything that you must have realized in this whole story, is that I kind of change what I want to do quite a lot. Okay, so I want something that's going to allow me to take up any interest that I have, and that thing is a personal brand. When I show up as myself and talk to people about the steps that I'm taking to be able to attain financial independence, that's what I want to do, without there being any restrictions as to what I can post, what I can't post. So all I'm saying is, if you're currently trying to figure out what to do with your life, because guess what, you also are not sure about what career you want to take up, because guess what, it is so normal. It is so normal to not know what you want to do and stop feeling bad about it. I'm so tired of feeling bad for not knowing what I want to do with my life. But all you need to start off with doing is praying. Number one thing that I would suggest that you start with doing if you want to find your purpose is to talk to God about it. God knows the path that He has set out for you. Ask Him for the guidance that you need. I have been praying, I think, the same prayer for years now, because, well, I just don't see it. It doesn't come easy for me. So I've been talking to God about it. And it is God that gave me this business idea and helped me grow and pivot and find things that I love, that I find interesting. And I've gotten to where I am now because of God's guidance. So number one, make sure that you speak to God about this. Make sure that you consult with God about this. If you don't know what your purpose is, He knows the purpose, the plan that He has for you. So trust Him. Number two, try out everything. If there's anything you should know, is that it doesn't matter if you fail. I've tried out so many things and kind of failed in it because I ditched it every single time I realized it wasn't for me. And it doesn't matter. It honestly does not matter that you didn't continue with that thing. You just need to get started with every single thing that you take an interest in. So if it means that you have to go write down a list of things that you're interested in and start learning about those things and sharing those things on social media, then do so. Because that is how you're going to learn how to actually make money from whatever it is that you're passionate about. I love teaching people. I love speaking to people. And I've now found a way to do so without there being any boundaries or any restrictions or limitations to it. But the only way I found it was through going around a very long path, because I started off as a jewelry business owner. Did I become one? No. But it took me getting this idea to start a jewelry business to actually get started. Number 3, just start. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter whether you've researched enough, you haven't researched, and so on. Please just start. I see so many people who take years learning and doing research but never implementing. You will stay in the same spot if you're not willing to make a move. Just start. Don't worry about the mistakes that you're going to make and how it's going to end up, because trust me, it doesn't matter. Number 4, talk to someone who is in a position that you want to be in, or who is living a life that you want to live. Now, this does not mean that you necessarily have to DM people, call people, and so on. Sometimes it means go and look for people on social media who are living the life that you want to live as well, so that you can see how they got there. One thing I love about people on social media is that they're always going to basically throw a ladder down for someone who is behind them, who's trying to get to where they are. They will always teach you exactly what you need to do to get to where they are. So make use of that. You can learn anything and everything online, and that is an advantage that people did not have before you. Start making use of the resources that you have, and that is number 5. You have everything on your fingertips. Instead of watching memes and all these fun stuff that actually do not add to your life, maybe just try to dedicate 30 minutes every single day to watch one YouTube video that is going to teach you some type of skill. Now, if you want to know how to get started with that skill, I'll suggest that you actually start off with marketing, copywriting, and sales. Those 3 you will always need no matter what business you actually want to start. Learn a skill that you have some type of interest in. That's why I'm telling you that you need to get started. Write down a list of things that you're interested in, because that is the best way that you can actually go about it. So now it's up to you. You've heard my story, and obviously we're not at the end of the story. If you haven't realized, I haven't gotten to the point where I can say that I've now made $1 million and I'm now this rich person. I'm not there yet. I'm still in the journey, but I've made it far enough to actually be willing to tell you how I've gotten here. That no, I have not gotten to where I want to be, but I've made enough effort to actually get closer to this dream life that I see for myself. No, do I see myself working for someone forever? I don't see it. It's not part of my plans. I love traveling, and if I'm working for someone, that is going to be kind of limited because I'll have to work under someone. So figure out what you want. What actually makes you happy? What gives you that feeling? I was just about to start recording, but then now everyone's back home, so we'll have to come back and try this in a few hours, because I don't want problems. So yeah, this is where we are. I was just about to start recording the masterclass, but we'll try this another time. Okay, we'll try this another time. If it doesn't work out, we will try it tomorrow. You don't have to figure it out to get started. You just need to get started in order to figure it out. I also haven't figured it out yet, but I'm taking the necessary steps to get there, and I hope you'll be doing so as well.